Hey guys, good morning. So, we are sitting out here in our flower garden this morning, just kind of enjoying the beautifulness of it. It is starting to be in such full bloom, and we have flowers coming up everywhere. We ended up planting a wildflower mix, so we're really excited to see all the little surprises coming up. Anyway, so one reason why I wanted to shoot this video today is because I did something that I should not have done, and I don't know if other people know about it. So, I have seen some videos where people throw their raw compost in their garden or their spot behind their garden, something like that, to give benefits to the plants. So, I was like, oh, no problem, we'll just throw these out in the compost. When we used our compost, a lot of it was broken down, but there was some potato pills that
and not to really decompose yet.
Right, it wasn't decomposed. It did not break down. They were just out there, and they had only been out there a short while, so it wasn't something that like I had given them months and they never broke down. That's not the case. So not thinking much of it, I was just like, you know what? These are gonna break down,
Yeah.
right? I mean, doesn't anything break down when it's covered with soil and in the ground? Except for plastic. So that's what I had initially thought. No? Mm-mm. Is that what happened?
No?
What ended up happening is now that our garden is in full swing of growing, looking absolutely gorgeous, plants are getting bigger, we have potato plants popping up everywhere. And I mean everywhere. Like even in my containers that I'm growing in my tomato bed, in my pumpkins and cucumbers and potatoes, go figure, and in my onions, and even in my corn, my radishes. You're right, yeah, our radishes.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. And you know, when they
Wow.
first started coming up, they were so cute and small and tiny, and I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna let them grow. I'm gonna see what happens. Like, what's the big deal? Maybe they won't even turn into a plant. So then I go out this morning and I'm looking, we're watering, and I'm like, you know what? These potato plants are getting huge. There's no way that they are going to be able to stay in the garden like that. They can't just grow wild and willy-nilly wherever they want. They can't.
Nope.
So I started pulling the little ones up because they're really easy. They just slip right up. Their roots are pretty just like straight. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to yank those up. We had a few big ones.
Yes.
Big. This is one plant, you guys, that came up. And I didn't want to disrupt the dirt around my other plants, which happen to be in my cucumbers. I did not want to disrupt my cucumbers. So I very carefully pulled up all of the potato plant, and I started to shake the dirt off of it, and I realized that it is growing little tubers. It is growing tiny little potato tubers. So this is what is happening under there, y'all. This is what's going on. We have tiny itty bitty baby potatoes growing all over the bottom of this plant. And I honestly cannot believe it. It's such a gorgeous plant though. It really is. And I'm super sad to have lost these because these are awesome, but you're disrupting my cucumbers. I don't want my cucumbers to be root bound or be choked out by this beautiful potato plant. So I had to make a sacrifice and I had to pull it. Now, another interesting thing, just so you guys know, to plant potatoes, you do not need a whole half of a potato that every single video or information says out there. You do not need a whole potato or anything. This thing is growing potatoes, and this is a skin. This is a potato skin that it is grown out of. It is very crazy.
This one looks like.
This is another one that this was just, I guess, a chunk of potato that had gotten out there, and it started to grow. I tried to pull it up, but this guy was just a little baby. But needless to say, these things were everywhere in my garden. And I can't believe it. And they were all in one. Since I shook the dirt off and everything, they kind of have separated. But it is just amazing to me that these have grown like this, and we have baby potatoes on it. So needless to say, I am very excited about our potato growth, because that means the potato bed we did plant is gonna grow, because it is. Hi, Sissy.
How you doing?
But I'm bummed that I had to waste so many potato plants.
Yeah.
It makes it a little sad that you have to pull them out, right? I mean, I guess we could go ahead and stick them in somewhere else, but I don't know if they would actually grow like that, to be really honest. But it makes it kind of sad.
I mean,
So.
it's cool to like see the progress of them.
It is. That is one thing I have let the kids do.
Mommy!
Yeah,
It fell!
I see. You're silly. That is one thing that I have let the kids do the entirety of growing. I let them pull out some radishes at different stages, because quite frankly, I was curious too. I was curious to see, okay, what did it look like at this stage? How small was it? And even when I harvest them, this is the first time that we have grown radishes. So I didn't know either. I didn't know what the stages were. And on the back of the seed pack, which is very informative, it said harvest day was 24 days after germination of seeds. And I actually waited about 30 days, and I will add the picture here, but my radishes were itty bitty. They were probably about the size of that potato. They were tiny. Some of them a little bit larger, but they were pretty small. Delicious, but pretty small. And so I left a few in to continue to go, and it's probably been about, I want to say, probably closer to 2 months from the day I put the seeds in to today. And
Huge.
and according to my husband, very delicious, because he is the one that just tried the one we pulled out yesterday to see what it looked like. And I did that simply just so that way, for one, I want a couple to go to seed. I think it's going to be so awesome to collect and harvest the seeds out of them and have them stored for our next growing. Secondly, I wanted to see at what point could I pull the radishes out and them still be delicious. So we ended up pulling one out yesterday, and I have to say it was pretty big, and it was really good. It wasn't too spicy like they say they turn. It was really good. So I'm pretty excited about that one.
Yeah.
also, I wanted to talk about something that was pretty cool. I think to me and the kids, we got a big surprise yesterday. We had this plant that came up and started growing in one of our pots that something else had died off in. And I just hadn't moved it. I knew I was going to be gardening soon, so we just kind of left it there. And something started to grow, and the boys, they were like, pull it out, Mom, it's a weed, it's a weed. And I was like, no, I don't know, it doesn't really look like a weed. I don't know if you were going to say something, that's why it stopped. So I did not pull it out. I left it, and it turned into the most beautiful, well, actually first it was the most weirdest plant, growing like alien bulbs.
Yeah.
Not sure exactly what it was.
Little balls with like spikes on them.
Yes, so we were just like, oh, this is so strange, let's just see what it turns into. And it is absolutely the most beautiful flower. So here is our triangle garden and the water fountain that we did. And this, you guys, is just stunning. I love this little cottage garden feel that this has going on. I cannot wait until all of our little surprise flowers bloom from the wildflower mix that we planted. And this is the strange plant that was what we were talking about. We were like, what is this thing? Y'all, it is beautiful. It is so gorgeous. It is vibrant. I don't even know if the camera is doing it justice, but this thing is stunning.
It's so tall.
It is. Everything is completely in growing here. So what I did learn is leave something you're unsure about, because you might actually get a total surprise from it, because that thing is beautiful. Secondly, be prepared if you happen to throw some raw compost underneath your beds that there are going to be some surprise things popping up, right? Okay. Let's go show you the onion beds where we actually did not finish pulling them out, and because I did want to shoot this video. So I'm going to show you those and show you what we're talking about. Real quick along the way, we have these gorgeous California poppies down here. They're beautiful. And the kids were asking me, since we've been trying to learn how to seed harvest, the kids were asking me, Mom, how do we know where their seeds are? I said, I don't know. Maybe once the flower falls off, they're in this. So I picked one, nothing. Then I just waited, and all of a sudden, what that was grew into this. So this is actually where the seeds will be contained. That is not a flower, that is after the flower has already fallen off. I just thought it was so neat, and you learn something every day. So this is actually a potato plant that is coming up in our onions, and along with some weeds in here that I have not yet to get out. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys what this is like when I pull it up. There is no onions around it, so I'm not really worried about disturbing the bulbs, but you just kind of loosen it and give it a yank. Look how long that is. Just growing as it may. This is what is popping up all over our garden. This is another one here. This one's a bit rather small. So, and here's another one back here if you can see. This one's a little closer to the onions, but it's still fairly small, so I know that from pulling them up in the past, I know it's not gonna really do anything because they're so tiny and so skinny. So this is another small potato plant. So that is what happens when you throw wrong compost into your garden beds. I hope this helps and gives people information. If you don't care to go through and pull stuff up and, you know, have surprises like that and trials, I'm new to the full-scale gardening this year, as I said before. So if you don't mind, who cares? Try it. We didn't know, now we know. It's funny, we laugh about it because they keep popping up everywhere. So we eat a lot of potatoes, that's what it is.
We do.
Lots of mashed potatoes. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it gave some of you some just basic information of little surprises that come up in the garden. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out with us today. Bye.
Bye.